listener, you have to imagine like every Jewish summer camp, but like just queer Jews, all single, but like adults.
Yes.
So it's like this amazing, for me, it was just so gratifying.
It must have been so healing for everyone's toxic Jewish summer camp vibes.
Yeah, it was a real game changer. Very different from Sternberg, I'll tell you that. I went to Sternberg, which was yeshivish.
Just to define terms here. So it's like there's like modern Orthodox, and then Orthodox is more intense, and then yeshivish is more intense than that.
Yeah, I guess I would say Orthodox is more like an umbrella term.
Yeah.
And then
of just people
like
who,
queer. Yeah, Orthodox is equivalent
Orthodox
to queer.
are the queers of the Jewish world.
Exactly.
People don't like them.
Yeah.
They're a small percentage, but when they're together, they assume that they're the majority. Yeah. They have all these very intense rituals.
And they're having a ton of gay sex. We are seriously talking about whether or not we have a potential future together as like two queer Jews in the world.
I mean,
and like what that would mean and blah blah blah.
He did ask Artem. Oh my God. He asked Artem about our wedding. He was like,
yes!
Did you have a Ukrainian wedding? Did you feel like your culture was like,
he told me,
like
represented
at your wedding? And I was like, oh my God, this is such a question that a person in a like newly official relationship would ask. It's like, you're like, wedding planning, what would ours be like?
And then also the non-gendered parts.
Yes.
Is like a whole thing.
Wait, now I'm also putting it together that at the QI retreat,
I was asking about non-gendered weddings.
You led a discussion session.
I wonder why. Degendering the Jewish wedding.
How do you do that?
Oh no.
Oh, Moishe.
We have a guest on the podcast.
Yeah, we
today.
do have a guest.
It's Moishe. Bring him in.
Listener, oh my God.
If you can't see, it's the most perfect angelic dog. Antonia's dog named Moishe.
Rabbeinu.
I'm so sorry, Shlita.
Thank you. And he's tiny. He's 9 pounds, and not to define him by his weight, but no, you're so much more than your body size, Moishe. But you are 9 pounds, which I think is a helpful metric for listeners.
Perfect.
He's little. He's tiny.
Kind of
he's
looks
all black
like
with this wizened gray. Beard, and little yarmulke.
And his little ears are pricking up.
Tummy. And his ears are pricking up because he knows we're talking about him. Moishe, what do you have to say to the Yenta listeners?
Brilliant.
Nailed it.
Wise.
I agree.
Where were we? The weddings. Yeah. Okay. So wait, did Artem say he had a? Well, first of all, listeners, it's just us. Yenta's just us.
Welcome to Yenta, the podcast that's sometimes about comedy, sometimes about Judaism, and always about us.
Yenta's only.
That was really hard for me to do because you normally do it, and I was suddenly like,
I forgot it.
What is our tagline?
I was like, I wasn't sure if you were doing a bit, and I didn't want to walk over you.
But then I was
like, oh, you're just trying to do it
badly. Yeah, welcome to Yenta. It's just us today. We heard great feedback, honestly, that our last Just Us episode was a hit.
It was such a hit.
I wonder why.
I don't know. We're just so perfect.
It's just like we have so much charisma and star power.
I actually didn't even tell you this. Someone sent me this. I meant to forward it to you, but someone sent me this DM and said, "I love your show and your dynamic with Antonia. She's so fucking sharp. Especially shows like this that touch religion." And then went into a story about being gay and Orthodox. Classic.
Oh my God, I love the DMs you get. Just like all of these sad Orthodox queers being like.
And I love every one of you. Please keep DMing. I actually do read everyone's DMs.
And when I say sad, I don't mean the pathetic kind of sad. No, I mean the
heartwarming.
Understandably troubled.
It's hard. Understandably troubled. He's licking something.
Oh, good for him. If you see him scratching at something, it looks very worrisome, like that he's going to rip something, but he's so weak.
He can't do
He
it.
regularly digs our couch and there's no mark. There's not even a mark.
Poor baby tries.
Poor tiny baby.
Yeah, we've got good feedback. We're going to do more Yentas only.
Yeah. I'm excited about it.
Me too. I think it's great. It's way easier for us too.
It's so much easier.
Guests are so much more.
Oh my God, I know.
You don't understand the personalities
that
we have to deal with. No, everyone's very
divas.
Nice. Everyone's very
actually,
nice.
they're all very reasonable and down to earth.
Yeah.
But
this is
just,
nice.
Why dilute greatness?
Exactly. It's like, yeah, okay, perfect.
This is perfect. So we have like a couple things we wanted to discuss today.
Yes, which we kind of opened with my relationship.
Yeah,
which is like I didn't even know if I wanted to talk about it, and then we started with it. So
we
great.
came out swinging,
yeah,
with a relationship debut, and also I do want to talk about weddings, especially because you had a big discussion with all of these queer Jews about weddings, and I want to know what you talked about.
Yeah,
and then we also both just did this queer kite incubator, Jewish queer writers retreat. And it was like
in Pearlstone Retreat Center. Shout out
the world famous Pearlstone Retreat Center.
I'm sure it is really famous to a lot of the listeners.
They opened with my favorite thing that Jewish organizations always do, which is they found one superlative about themselves. I think it was, we are the largest faith-based nonprofit in the country. And that's the thing that all Jewish organizations always find. Like the BCI campus, I always go, this is the largest Jewish-owned piece of land outside Israel. I'm sure Ikar would be like, we have the largest live stream of Shabbat services.
The most celebrity attended synagogue.
It's not
but we're not better than you.
You know, it's not just a Jewish thing, because also I was talking to this Moroccan guy, not Jewish, who, as soon as we brought up his country, he immediately pulled out all the superlative facts. Well, you know, Morocco has the most diverse blah, 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 blah. Well, you know, it's the largest port outside of Dubai.
Oh my God, that's so funny. I do that with Queens. I'm not gonna lie. Queens, the most diverse city in the world. Huge. That's pretty big.
I mean, I think it's
other ones were stupid. Mine,
yours is big.
Mine is big,
and also I think just says a lot about your moral character.
Exactly. Oh my God, I'm just perfect.
It's just, you're the most diverse city in the world.
I care so much about.
It's so good. I'm
diversity.
just gonna airlift Moishe.
He's so good. Come here. Yes, thank you. You knew I wanted him.
Straight to his godparent. Yes. We did discuss that you get Moishe if you and Artem die.
Yeah, thank God.
Thank God.
Put that in your will.
For sure.
Okay. Because people will be fighting for him.
They will.
And I don't want to have to do a legal battle. I don't want to have to hire a lawyer.
Would get so messy. Yeah. And then there'd be a whole scene where everyone would stand at opposite corners of the room, and Moishe would have to run to one of you.
Yeah. What is that from?
That's
like a thing that people do with kids, and yeah.
Is it from a thing, or is it just like a pop culture trope?
I feel like it's like a King Solomon story.
Yeah, and then someone will be like, let's cut Moishe in half, and you'll be like, no.
Exactly. So the Queer Writers Retreat.
Which was
amazing.
It was like
queer Jewish.
Every queer Jew on the East Coast.
Yeah.
Not all of them, but 50 of them.
Some people that they knew about this program for months and have been writing a queer Jewish piece of writing for 6 months, and some people who literally found out the day before.
Yeah, it's
that
so
they were
funny.
coming on this retreat.
Oh wait, I'm going to take off his little jingle bells. It's funny because we have spent the last 6 months honing pieces.
Being
You especially.
very serious.
Taking it really seriously. Writing really
a brand
hard.
new piece from scratch.
And then there were some people who literally were invited by like a Tinder match.
Yes.
We're like, I hear there's this like queer Shabbaton happening. Do you want to come?
It's so funny.
I sort of came with the expectation that everyone was going to be like serious writers and we would all have stuff to present.
Me too.
I would say the majority of people came expecting like a queer dating retreat.
Yeah, which is amazing.
Amazing. For drama, incredible.
Oh my God.
Actually, so much more pleasant.
Listener, you have to imagine like every Jewish summer camp, but like just queer Jews, all single, but like adults.
Yes.
So it's like this amazing, for me, it was just so gratifying to be like, I have all this suave and like, and knowledge and charm of an adult, and I don't have this like weird, awkward puberty phase, and
Yes.
I'm in a summer camp with all these other people. It was so good.
Literal summer camp.
Yeah.
It must have been so healing for everyone's toxic Jewish summer camp vibes.
Yeah. It was a real game changer. Very different from Sternberg, I'll tell you that.
And you and Rabbi Shua, who ran the retreat, were
Shout
gossiping
out, Rabbi
about
Shua.
all of the toxic Jewish summer camps
Yes.
that you'd been to, none of which I'd heard of.
Yeah, it was like, wait, like Masora, Morasha, those. Did you know that there's 3 mainstream, like modern Orthodox Jewish summer camps? They're called Masora, Morasha, and Mosheva.
What's going on there?
And they're all so different. It's like, let's pick 3 names that are intentionally very similar, so maybe people accidentally click on the wrong one, like, and come to ours. It's so insane. I didn't go to any of them, by the way. I went to Sternberg, which was yeshivish. I'm not modern like
And
those
just
losers.
to define terms here, so it's like there's like modern Orthodox, and then Orthodox is more intense, and then yeshivish is more intense than that.
Yeah, I guess I would say Orthodox is more like an umbrella term.
Yeah,
And then
of just people
like
who,
queer. Yeah, Orthodox is equivalent
Orthodox
to queer.
are the queers of the Jewish world.
Exactly.
People don't like them. They're a small percentage, but when they're
And they're all
together,
having
they
sex.
assume that they're the majority. They have all these very intense rituals.
And they're having a ton of gay sex.
And they're having a ton of gay sex.
Which I also learned on this retreat center. Which I don't know how much I can really divulge about that, but there's like a whole undercover world of like Orthodox Haredi yeshivish gay people basically cruising.
Yes.
Which we're not going to get into any more details. But
We don't need to give more details, but just
yeah.
knowing that is like such a huge subculture.
Huge.
It blew my mind.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, wait, is there anything else we need to tell listeners for context
difference.
about the QI retreat before we like get really deep into all this goss?
Imagine like
Shabbaton.
bunk bed, not bunk beds. It was like
Rooming
like
together.
cabin. Oh yeah, we were together. Cabin lodges. It's like Adama is where it's based. It's like a Jewish land nonprofit.
Yeah, there's a farm. There are hiking trails, woodsy.
Woodsy.
And then we spent the weekend basically doing like icebreakers and bonding exercises with everybody.
Yes, and some writing.
A little.
Tiny bit of writing.
Tiny bit of writing.
It's almost like the writing is just a front for a dating community.
It's almost like that.
But it's not.
No way.
No, the writing. Actually, I think the writing thing is amazing and beautiful, and I loved hearing people's pieces. I just wish we got to hear more.
Yes.
That
Okay.
was
So let's just go through like highlight takeaways. Yeah. Number 1, the enormous cruising scene happening in the Jewish the Orthodox community.
Yeah.
That also blew my mind. The stories. It just felt like every single boy.
Yeah.
Every single guy there was giving stories about how at his school or camp or whatever
They were all blowing each other.
Everyone was blowing each other in the bathroom.
Yeah.
And I was like, I went to public school and we were not having this much sex.
That's so funny. But maybe That was you.
Oh yeah, me for
your
sure.
Community.
Yeah, let me tell you,
I
I
like
for sure was not having that much
I've
sex.
definitely heard kids in public school having sex at like 12.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I guess it just, everyone at the retreat made it seem like it was so widespread.
Yeah.
More than I experienced in public.
Well,
more than I
also-
observed, not experienced, more than I observed in public school.
My new lover
Yes.
also has had that experience a lot.
Lover, shout out to the term.
And I will never stop using that.
Yeah, your
that
committed
term.
lover.
But I told you that story of how he was like to my mom, like, because he's trying to explain to my mom about being bisexual. And he was like,
wait, what did he say?
he was like, you know, like when I was younger, I would like, when I was like 12 or 13, I like kissed my first boy. And I was like, oh, like, you know, it's just one time. And then a year later, I like kissed another boy again. And, you know, I was like, oh, you know, it's nothing. It doesn't mean anything. And then like, I just would keep kissing these boys. And like, when I was like 25, I'd kiss like 20 boys. I was like, oh, like this, I might actually be real. And then later he was like to me, like every time I said kiss, I actually meant blowjob. But he was very respectful to my mother.
So beautiful. And it sounded like she was a like truly converted queer ally after this conversation.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Sure. She's yeah. No, she I think I mean, you know, as much as people don't get women bisexuality, they really don't get male bisexuality. Yeah. And yeah, we're the victims.
Yeah.
Anyway.
We're the victims.
Yeah. Lots of blowjobs happening.
Yes,
in the Orthodox Jewish spaces.
That was a big takeaway. Other big takeaways were from my perspective, the sort of like dating maturity of everyone was very low.
Well, Antonia, you're the only one there that's like actually
that was like partnered,
married.
Yeah, I was the only one there who was married,
for sure,
including the organizer. I didn't realize that was going to be the case.
Well, no, there was. Was anyone else married?
Wait,
the couple with the baby.
The couple with the baby was married,
and the other couple,
they're not married.
They're not married, but they're like seriously dating.
Yeah, but they're serious.
Because she was actually the other reason I brought up the non-gendered weddings, because we were talking about it together.
Oh, because they're
talking about their marriage. What was I gonna say?
But everybody else.
You're also the only one that was like not Orthodox adjacent.
Oh my god, literally.
So you had this like extra like 10,000 foot under like
yes.
Like what the fuck is going on?
I kept telling people, I was like, I think I'm the foreign exchange student.
It was so funny.
Like I'm like reform. I had no idea what was happening so much of the time.
Really?
I'm married.
Yeah.
I mean,
I have real diversity.
I've never them'd Artem harder in my entire life. I just kept referring to my spouse. Yet they're amazing.
Oh my god.
Oh, they're amazing.
That is so funny.
I'm not normally so insecure about being a bisexual married to a man, but in that context, I was like, I don't feel like these people are at the point in their journey where they can hear this.
Yes.
And I was like, I'll dumb it down. They're an incredible Soviet Jew.
Yeah.
Oh, they're so
uncircumcised. Sorry, was that a secret?
No.
Oh, okay.
I guess we'll tell him.
We have to tell.
But we exposed it to the world.
Yeah, we'll talk about it on the next week when he comes on the
next
pod.
week
on the Patreon, patreon.com/Yenta.
It's gonna be big.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was another takeaway. Everyone's dating maturity was rock.
'Cause I think there's like an Orthodox dating maturity that's already pretty low, like Orthodox adjacent.
Yes.
You know, it's like,
yes.
I don't want to say maturity is low, but it's just like an obsession with partnership and marriage and finding your person. That's so ingrained into that culture. And then you have these people who, like, a lot of them have like just come out, or they're not, well, actually a lot of them have just come out, or,
a lot of them,
like they're going through their second puberty of gayness, and then it like kind of also brings you back to like teenage years. What did you witness that was so immature?
I mean,
I was also very much part of it. I just want to take responsibility and accountability for my actions. I was so immature. I the whole time I was like, so who do you think is cute here? I was really causing chaos.
Literally, though, first of all, thank you. I was going to call you in. I actually feel like you were just operating. I feel like, well, the thing is, I know that your maturity
I think I got less mature because we were in this camp setting.
It was the energy of the setting was exactly that.
Yeah.
Every conversation was like, who do you think is cute?
Yes.
Like, so like, are you dating anyone outside of this? Like, who do you have a crush on? Do you want me to talk to them about it? Like,
it was amazing.
It was just like dripping in hormones.
Yeah.
But
I think more on the guy's side.
Much more on the guy's side. And there were more guys. And their energy was very big.
Very like that, yeah.
And then I told you I witnessed like...
Which I also had so much fun participating in as like an observer.
An instigator? Oh my God.
An instigator. Like I was like, I know I have there's nothing happening with me or any of these guys, so I can just cause so much chaos.
I literally walked up, so I saw these two guys talking to each other, and I was like, this is interesting. And I walked up to them and I was like, what's going on here? And
so you were in it too.
Oh, I was so... are you kidding me?
Ate it up.
Oh, I was asking everyone, who do you have a crush on?
Great.
I was like, come on. This is gossip. And they were like, we're just talking. And I was like, are you like, is this like just chatting or are you like talking?
Oh my God.
And then one of them was like, I don't know. Like, we're kind of like talking. And then I was like, okay. And then I asked them like a couple of really dumb icebreakers to be like get deep with each other. I was like, what do you think is really hot about the other person? And
to each other?
I told them, I was like, yeah, so I guess maybe you should talk about like, what do you think is really hot about each other?
Oh my God. That's way worse than I did.
And then I like walked away.
Oh my God. What sex positions do you both like? Bye. Oh my God. Wow, that's way more chaotic than I caused. I take it back.
Oh yeah,
That's so funny. Who? Don't say. I also witnessed like similar things where with me, like people would be like warmer, and then someone would come up and then like all of a sudden get like sassy.
Yes.
So a lot of sass. But I thought for me it was like a really beautiful healing weekend. It was like a weekend that I never imagined could be possible. It was like all these formerly Orthodox queer people like just doing like the songs and the prayers that I love, but doing it in a way that like wasn't triggering or harmful. So that was like huge.
They even had like there were so many good opportunities for like people to get really nerdy and pedantic about their Judaism. Yeah,
but there was none of that.
No, which was I think a good thing, which the crowd wanted. Like there were two. I thought it was so interesting. There were two minions. Like there was an egalitarian minion.
Yes,
and there was a minion with a mechitza.
Yeah,
that really interested me.
I've actually seen I've seen a few like Orthodox egalitarian spaces do that. Like when I learned Torah in Drisha, like which is an Orthodox progressive Jewish institution, like 10 years ago, they had an egalitarian minion and they had a mechitza minion.
Interesting.
I don't love it, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, I guess it's just a way to kind of like appease everyone. Which it's nice. And you know what's really nice about that? Which I like to be counted in a minion in that situation, in the egalitarian minion, obviously is really nice. even though I didn't go to shul because I was drunk really late Friday night. But Friday night I did go to shul.
Yeah, you did.
And I actually had to be, they actually needed to count me because there were so few people.
It was such an interesting, like, seeing who went to services
because
was
for
really
all our
interesting.
non-Jewish listeners, only 10 men are allowed to be counted in an Orthodox minyan.
LOL, our non-Jewish listeners. We love you.
Maybe there are.
I bet there are a couple.
Write in.
Yeah, that would be great.
Please
write in.
DM me or Antonia.
Yeah, DM Ray with your really heartfelt coming out stories.
Please.
And just tell me, like, LOL, I'm not Jewish. Well, I thought what was really interesting was there was a huge contingent of people who didn't go to services.
Yes.
And that was interesting because it was still within the contingent of people who felt like they really had to come to a queer Shabbaton.
Yes.
But they were like, but we're not going to go to services. And then there was, I would say the largest minyan was the Mechitza minyan.
Yeah.
But I was wondering if that was because, I was wondering if all the people who went there went because they wanted a Mechitza or because they knew that was going to be the more serious one.
Yes.
And
both.
I was thinking that there were probably
or they just
some
want to
people
hang out
there,
with the boys.
exactly, who didn't care about the Mechitza but wanted to hang out with the super nerds.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And then the
100%.
egalitarian minyan was a lot chiller.
More chill. Yes, I think that's a very perfect description of the situation.
Yeah.
It's like there's something about mechitza. It's not really. It's about like, oh, we're more orthodox.
Yes,
because we have a mechitza.
I also noticed that like the trans guy went to the mechitza minyan.
Fuck, I hate that. So sorry. I love him. He's whatever.
I didn't get to interact with him, but he seemed lovely.
He's lovely. And the thing that pisses me off so much about that is like, you know, oh, great, you're transitioned to a man for the patriarchy. And now you get the patriarchy. I'm so happy for you.
This feels very like our conversation with Laser about like,
yes,
it's so great to transition into privilege.
Yes. Great.
I know.
Love that.
And they really did. I mean, the Mechitza minyan did have like they had an energy.
I actually didn't go to the Mechitza minyan at all.
No, me either. But I noticed like after services, like going to lunch, like the Mechitza people kind of stuck together. I think because they were like, we're fellow pedantic Jewish nerds.
I see. Yeah.
Who just want to talk halacha. Like then the trans guy, we had like a big discussion session. He was the one who was like, I want to talk about like halachic answers to queerness. And I thought it was great that like there was a representation of super nerds.
Yes.
And then there were like
the rebels.
Other groups. Then there were the rebels, and then there were the people who were there to like be Jewy and vibe and wanted equality but didn't want to be super nerds about it.
Yes. Oh, I love that.
It was like,
I love that description. It's just crazy because like you think, oh, I'm going to a Shabbaton with queer Jews, or like someone else hears that.
Yes.
And they think, oh, they must all be the same.
Yes.
But there's such a variety. Even in that tiny niche.
Such a variety.
It's crazy.
I loved that they did this like discussion session thing.
It was awesome.
Where the format was like, they just asked the whole group of like 50 people, does anyone want to lead a discussion on any topic?
Genius idea.
And then they'd say, I'm doing one on this topic, and people would just go to that. It was such a good idea. And the topics were, I am not going to remember all of them. You did
Degendering Jewish weddings, which is different than gay Jewish weddings.
Yes.
Because a lot of gays like the genders, as we're learning. As we're learning. Yeah. They like the mechitza.
Yes.
Yeah.
Degendering the Jewish wedding. There was the like halachic answers to queer questions.
There was one that was like trans people. This is so Jewish nerd. Trans people, when they die, getting the right gender for the Mechevra Kadisha.
Yes.
That's how Jewish nerd it was. Amazing.
So specific. And then there was
led
also
by the most amazing person who she was phenomenal.
I'm a huge fan.
Huge fan of her. I'm not gonna like shout her out because we're not going to, but like if she's listening,
if you're listening,
you're amazing. I want you to be
so
my
great.
rabbi. Yeah.
One of the
highlights.
One of the most mature people
For sure.
there.
Also married.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or married or
She's married.
long-term partner.
I'm pretty sure married.
Oh, married.
Yeah.
There was also one that was just, let's talk about biphobia.
Yeah. That was a good one.
I wanted to go to that one, but they had transitioned to another topic.
Yeah.
There's one that was like having hard conversations with people in your life. I went to that one. Mm-hmm. It was interesting. It turned into a bit of like, that was a real sort of therapy session of people just talking about the hard conversations they've had. And I felt like it was great that there was like an opportunity to talk about that. Also, I think it would have been cool to talk about more. It was pitched as how to have hard conversations,
versus just like a support
and we
group.
didn't really get into the how as much. Though I did pitch that I think we should have like a parent swap where it's like, I'm not triggered by your parents' homophobia.
Yeah.
So I'll talk to them about it and you talk to mine about
Genius.
it. Like, I think that would be a good system. There was also, I don't know. Do you remember any of the other ones?
No.
What did you talk about in the Jewish wedding?
So I got really good. Well, first, the actual, this goes back to like the halachic nerd thing, because I went in being like, I'm in the middle, right? Like I love the halacha, I love the text, but I also care a lot about the traditions and like the culture. And like so much of the Jewish, basically we went in and one of the people there was like, so the only thing that's really halacha about the wedding is the specific nasiya, like the specific part of the ceremony. There's like one tiny part of the ceremony that's like, that's the only part that's like,
oh, is this why they were like, you could have a bedekin be a wedding? Were you there for that discussion?
I don't know.
Someone at some point was like, technically a bedekin could constitute the entire wedding if you needed it to, because the halacha
is like this one. Yeah.
Is weird.
Basically, I wanted to know more. I wanted to just talk about like how other queer couples have done it in a way, because it's so gendered. The weddings are so gendered. Have you been to a lot of Orthodox?
I've never been to any of them.
Okay, amazing. So like,
but I've watched a lot of YouTube videos actually.
Have you?
Yeah, actually I have.
I love that. So the bedekin is like so gendered.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, it starts with the tish, and it's usually just the man, the chassan's tish, and then
the woman is blessing everybody.
Yeah, the woman's blessing. Everyone lines up to bless her, and she has this like this veil, and like whatever, all of them are there. So like easy, that one's easy. Just both have tishes. Whatever.
Yeah, easy.
That one's easy to degender. The bedekin is weird. Like I don't want to wear a veil. I don't. Yeah, that's not.
Especially those like veil in this context is often an opaque piece of cloth.
In super Orthodox, yeah.
That's so intense.
Yeah, my sister-in-law did that.
It's so intense.
It's so intense. Whatever. But to her, just to give that perspective, she's like, I love the fact that I'm private and that like I don't have to look at anyone. It's my wedding day, and like I just want to be, like just in my own space that day. So like that is I don't agree with that, but like, but on the other side of that is like, oh, you can't see anything. Yeah. Like you can't see anything.
It's like all of these fucking traditions. Like mikveh for me is like an incredible spa self-expression experience. And for a lot of people is so fucking oppressive.
Yeah.
The veil situation is amazing and expansive for some people.
Yeah. The problem is that it's like, it's not like an optional thing. Like it's like not optional and only the woman does it.
Yeah.
Whatever. If both of them had veils, both of them were like, oh, we want to like be internal and not be focusing on it.
Or I mean, even in the Orthodox wedding, do they ever do like the tallis on top of both of them in a tiny cave?
In the under the chuppah?
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah,
that's kind of similar.
Honestly, I can't remember, but yeah. But the thing that I took away, which I really like, is first they said, instead of some people do like, oh, he puts the veil over her and she like puts like a kippah on him, or like a kittel. Do you know about a kittel?
Yeah,
a kittel is like a white robe that you wear on your wedding day. The Ashkenazi Jews traditionally wear on their wedding days, Pesach,
Yom Kippur,
and when they die. They're buried in it,
and they're so ugly. They look like
they look like a tablecloth,
like a lab coat crossed with a bathrobe.
Yeah, crossed with the tablecloth.
And everyone's like, these are so special, and it's like, they're hideous.
They are hideous, and they're white, and they're meant to signify like holiness. And the fact that you wear it on your wedding day and when you die, and on these like big important days, I feel like it's like a real like symbol of life.
Yeah.
Moment, like a garment that symbolizes the passage of time and the cycle of life.
God, we are so good at just imbuing shit with meaning. We're like, we found this lab coat.
Yeah,
we're gonna make it the most special garment in your entire life.
Yeah, but I want one.
Yeah, you want a kittel?
I want a kittel.
Amazing.
I want, instead of a veil, I want a kittel. We'll see if, I don't know if I'll get away with it, but like that was like a big takeaway from that conversation for me.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Any other ideas?
A big thing that really pisses me off, that pissed me off so much in seminary, is like only men are allowed to say the blessings at the end of the ceremony, and only men are allowed to be the witnesses in an Orthodox wedding. And that pissed me off so much. It was like, it's my day too. Like, oh, I have to be around all these dudes. Like, and the dudes are always like the groom's friends.
Yeah.
I'm like, whatever. Sometimes the relatives and blah, blah. But I didn't want that. And what she told me, this is real halachic nerd, is that there's a debate, machlokas, if the brachas, the sheva brachas at the end of the ceremony are brachos shel mitzvah, so like blessings of mitzvah, or brachos shel shevach, blessings of praise. And only brachos shel mitzvah need to be said by a man.
Interesting.
Am I making sense?
Yeah.
So like, if they're blessings of mitzvahs, then they have to be said by a man to be like obligated, or to fulfill your obligation. If it's brachos of praise, then it can be, anyone can say it. So basically you can hold that the sheva brachos are brachos shel shevach, and then anyone can say it. So that was also a really fun takeaway.
Wow, I love that takeaway.
Very serious,
nerd.
Very nerd.
I love that nerd.
I'm getting halachic nerd. Yeah, it was a lot of really good stuff. But, and then I just have to find, the other thing is like my dad was like, whatever. It's like this weird thing where like, if I marry an AMAB,
yes,
then all this like extra gender stuff comes on to me.
Oh my God.
Versus like, if I marry a woman, it's like, yeah, you can do whatever you want. 'Cause it's like not, it's like not real anyway. But like,
oh my God,
like thinking of that, my dad is like, just wear a dress. Like you should just wear a dress. And I'm like, oh, you should just get Orthodox married. You know, like all these extra things.
There's so much to unpack here.
Yeah.
That's such a good point. That like, if you were to marry a woman, it doesn't matter anyway because it doesn't count.
Yeah, exactly. And like I could wear a suit and no one would care because I would this
is already an abomination.
Yeah.
You can't abominate any harder.
I know. I just, whatever. You know, sometimes I'm like, maybe I just like to make life hard for myself. Like, that's just.
But like, is that why I'm queer?
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. What else? What takeaways did you have from your group?
I think, like, I was very interested to hear. Honestly, I was really surprised to hear how many of them have supportive parents.
Great.
And supportive, I would use in a loose, very loose way.
Just like not disowning you, parents. Oh, thank you.
Yes, exactly. Listener, we just airlifted Moishe back onto the couch.
Stop leaving me.
It's so important. Like, exactly that. Like, not supportive, but they haven't disowned these people.
Yeah.
And
that's
like,
great.
That was really interesting. Like, a lot of people were telling stories about how it was like tough at first, but now their family members are like asking them who they're dating, or a lot of them were saying like, you know, they just don't talk about it. They just don't bring it up. Like, yeah, if the kid brings it up, they'll be like, okay, but they don't bring it up. And to be honest, a lot of these people were saying like, that sucks. Like, I wish.
Yeah. They could be more supportive.
I wish they were more supportive. I wish they were like really actively engaging in my life and supporting me instead of just sort of like quietly ignoring it. But I was
you're
still,
like, that's amazing.
I was still very impressed.
You should feel lucky. It could be way worse for you.
Yeah. And that felt like a big refrain of the weekend, also from Rabbi Shua, who's running it, that like there are so many people in the Orthodox community who are not sure what to do with queer people, and so are just being quiet about it, and being kind of like tolerant of the queer people in their life, and not really talking about it more. And Rabbi Shua kept saying that was like what he was really interested in. And that was a pattern he sees a lot, is people who sort of quietly tolerate him as the first out Orthodox rabbi in the world.
I think so.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And
I love him. Shout out Rabbi Shua.
Come on the Rabbi podcast. Shua. I know, seriously.
After you do your professional podcast, and then come on here and we'll ruin your career.
Right in. We need a groundswell of support for Rabbi Shua, the first out Orthodox rabbi who doesn't want to come on the podcast because it'll ruin his reputation.
For very intelligent reasons. You shouldn't come on, but just come. It'll be so fun.
It'll be so fun. and I thought it was so fascinating that he is really, he really sees a lot of people who are sort of quietly okay with queer people, but don't know how to talk about it
in public.
Yeah,
I mean, I feel like even that I think is huge progress for the Orthodox community.
Yeah,
like the fact that so many more people exist and are out and not being disowned, even though it's not like they're not being accepted, they're just not being disowned.
Yeah.
And I think that's
what a win.
Such a win. And also speaks so crazy, but to the seriousness of the Judaism of these people, is that not everyone, but they'd rather just quietly have them there than have them lose their Judaism, because that's what was happening for so long, is that queer people just couldn't be Jewish in this space, and now they're like, oh, we want these people to still be Orthodox, so we're willing to not disown them.
It's spectacular.
But in 20 years from now,
what will it look like?
I actually have a lot of hope. But I'm also really not in the Orthodox space anymore. So I can't I don't want to. It's really hard. I don't want to undersell that. It's really, really hard.
And I would hope that the younger generation is sort of more progressive. But I did hear somebody tell a story about how her parents are not supportive, but are tolerant of her marrying a woman, but her sisters who are her age are not supportive of it.
Is it like they're worried about their shidduch prospects?
I think so.
Yeah.
And
that makes sense.
I mean,
it's fucked up, but it's like so much pressure from the community. It's not like an internal. It's not really an internal like homophobia. I mean, it is, but it's more they're just worried about their life,
coming from
their
like
dating
this
lives.
place of feeling vulnerable. They feel vulnerable in their position in the community.
Exactly.
They want a good match.
Yeah.
They're worried she's gonna fuck it up for them. Yeah.
Anything else to talk about?
We both performed for
We
the
did.
group.
Antonia crushed. Antonia crushed. It was amazing.
And then you made everyone cry.
And then I
made half the room cry.
Yes, yeah.
It was actually. Can we tell the story of it?
Yeah.
You told your Hamantashen monologue.
Yes.
Is that online?
It is. The last 3 times I spoke to my rabbi on YouTube. Ray Schiller, look it up.
Look it up. You did that piece for the group.
Yeah.
Half of the group was like, oh,
yeah.
This is so beautiful. And it's the story. It's the story of like you interacting with this rabbi who's like kind of fucked up about like gay rights.
Mm-hmm.
And then later in life, he sort of says that he is supportive of you. And it's a little hard to believe.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like very emotional. You talk about how you want to raise your future children Jewish.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Half the room was like, this is so gorgeous. And half of the room was like, so what?
We get it. We know. We have to deal with this.
Yeah, we do. We do this every day.
Yeah. I wasn't sure if that was because. Well, do you and tell me if you think the read is right on this? Like, I feel like mostly the dudes cared less. Am I right?
Yes. Yeah,
actually,
I do think you are right.
And gay people can be sexist too.
Yeah.
But no, I don't think that's what it was. I just think, they have to live it every day, and they're just kind of like, we get it.
Yeah,
I'm tired of this. But which was also a very interesting thing in the tree. Like it was not very emotional. Like maybe like a few like small support group session or whatever in those sessions that were like
mine. The thing that I was talking about was the most like emotional things got. Yeah. It was not very let's weep together about our queer trauma.
It was really not at all, which is beautiful. It was really more like a celebration of like
fuck.
Yeah, exactly. Like we've done enough weeping already. Now we have to fuck it out of our system. Fuck our pain out of our systems.
I think that was the tagline they pitched to donors.
And they got a ton of money.
A ton
fuck
of
the
money.
pain out of our bodies. Yeah, that was definitely it was like celebrate and fuck.
Yeah.
So that was really special. Just like every time, I mean, that's only the second time I've told that story, but like that thing is so emotional for me to share.
Yeah.
And every time I do it it's very like healing and just it's so hard, so vulnerable. So I sob every time.
Yeah.
After I do it, but it's good. But it was really good. It was good.
Yeah, you seemed so. It's so like raw and open after you did it.
So raw. That piece is so fucking raw. But I love it. It's one of the best things I've ever written and done. So that's that. You want to talk about your thing? You just crushed. Yeah. You made a joke about Orthodox. You let Orthodox reform bit crushed.
Yeah, I made a joke about how Orthodox people love to make fun of reform people, and the room died. They were like, we do. You know what I was thinking though about that? What I performed for them was I did some of my stand-up, and then I like talked through the short film that I had written. But I was thinking a lot about the point of this writer's incubator is very explicitly to tell queer Jewish stories to combat homophobia in the Jewish community. Mm-hmm. And being there as the Reform Exchange student, I kept having this feeling of like this is so funny for me because my story is not going to do anything for the audience that the organizers want to impact.
Like the Orthodox Jews. Oh my God, it's already 12:15.
Oh my God.
Is Artem?
I'll text him.
Okay.
How long have we been going for?
53 minutes.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Good.
We should
Healthy
wrap
episode.
up soon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's wrap up. Well, yeah. So basically, like, I was just thinking that, like, I was having like a real debate within myself of like if I were to try and write something to combat homophobia in the Orthodox community.
Yeah. The Orthodox people would be like,
what would I
Who?
write? And I was just like, I don't think I could write anything.
yeah. I
Like-
mean, I disagree, but
Like,
yeah.
like I could try and write things, but I don't have the education really, I think, to say something that would be like truly compelling.
That's so interesting because I feel like you're very educated on Orthodoxy.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like that
Or
in
maybe you're
normal
doing
life,
a really good job.
in normal life, I feel like that. And then at this retreat, I was like, I'm on another planet. Like every single song you sang, I was like,
Yeah.
I've never heard this in my life.
I have to give you a playlist.
Yeah,
Well,
you do.
Yeah, like literally Baruch Kel Elyon, Shabbos Day, highlight. I didn't even talk about such a highlight. Kach Sof, which I've also talked about on this podcast, how much I love that song. It's really hard to find people who know it. Amazing.
Yeah, can you make me a playlist
I'll make you
of
a playlist.
Shabbos melodies?
Yes, of like Orthodox Shabbos
like
melodies.
in the bencher.
Yes, 100%. Because I think I would love to see your brain and your musical genius, brilliance, and how you react and take inspiration from some of these songs.
Like what I am really interested in doing is figuring out how to teach them better. Because the me's of the world do not know these songs,
and
and they're so good, and we also don't know this culture of like a tish after Shabbos, like we just don't know this, and it's so
Tish huge highlight.
such a highlight, so incredible to be a part of these like long singing nights.
Yeah.
And these songs are so good, and I want to figure out a better way to like teach the songs and the culture.
I love it. There has to be a way, because the problem with these songs, their songs are they're so Hebrew. They're so Hebrew.
They're so Hebrew.
There's so many words, but the lyrics aren't. Sorry, the melodies aren't super complicated. No. Some are more complicated than others, but
we need benchers
with
listener that's like with transliteration. Those are the little
transliterated.
Books. Not all of them,
but
like some things were transliterated.
But even the transliterations are hard, I think.
The transliterations are hard.
Yeah,
your eyes just sort of like
but there has to be a way to do like some people doing the lyrics and some people just doing yai-da-dais, and like that's fine.
Exactly.
Like a lot of the lyrics.
Also, a lot of the songs. I noticed that there was a pattern where everyone would sing all the way through all the lyrics and then feel the most feeling
at
when
the
you do the
yai-da-dai
version of the melody at the end.
Totally. And
I was like, that's interesting. I wonder if this could just be yai-da-dai, or if you could do one verse, one chorus yai-da-dai, or chorus yai-da-dai, something like that.
Oh my God, I love this conversation so much.
Oh my God.
I mean, I think what could also be really powerful is just like, why are we even singing these words? Like, what do these words mean?
Yes.
Like,
oh my God. Yes.
Is this relevant? I think for me, like, first of all, I don't know what all the words mean. I get some of the words. Basically, the gist of all the words is like, it's Shabbos, thank God.
Yeah, literally.
We're resting and we're happy because
like,
it's Shabbos, and we ate a lot.
We were commanded
Yes.
that we've got to do Shabbos,
and we're doing Shabbos.
Doing it.
And thank God for Shabbos.
Literally.
That's every song.
It's such like indoctrination.
Yeah.
It's like real cult programming to be like, here are all of these songs about how much fun we're having on Shabbos.
We're having fun on Shabbos, right? We're having so much fun.
We love this and we have to do it and we love it.
But the thing, like, these songs, in a similar way that you write beautiful music inspired by your love, I think, of Judaism or culture or music
and
or whatever it is.
Spiritual connection.
Your spiritual connection. These songs are all written by people who have loved Shabbos, who love God, who have felt inspired to create music and melodies based on their love of their traditions.
My God, that's such a good point. I also want to know who these people are.
And that's all, you can find them all.
You could figure it out.
Most of them. Actually, I don't know about all of them.
They're like all rabbis.
All old rabbis.
That's the crazy thing is how like in Orthodox Judaism, like good rabbis are all good songwriters.
Yeah, I don't know about now, but
not so much now,
at the
but
time,
back in the day.
Now, because now we're like, we already had those guys.
They wrote all the songs.
They wrote all of them.
We don't need any more.
We don't do new stuff anymore. We just do the old stuff, and that's important. And
that's enough.
But like this, like I was just thinking when some of these songs were being sung, of like, for me, it's also so. It's so like. It's like a transcendent healing body high where it's like, these are the songs that I've heard throughout my whole childhood, and music is so powerful, and you know that's, and like I see kids now and I see like the Jewish songs being like ingrained into their memory, into like their body, and I always think about like, have you seen Stranger Things?
Not all of the seasons though.
Then I think in the latest season, like basically like one of the kids like goes into the dark place, goes into the upside down, and that's when that song blew up. But like music is the only thing that like brings her out of it.
I'm running out there.
Yeah. Exactly, that song.
Yes,
that's like the only thing that like keeps her out of the dark place, because there's something like extra, and it takes them like a whole season to figure that out. But like there's something just so powerful about music, and that's kind of like I just felt like lifted into a new time when some of these songs were being sung, and it felt really, really beautiful.
I was also just watching you, like you looked like such a little like Shabbos guy, banging on the table, just like screaming your little heart out, and it was so beautiful. And I was thinking about like singing these songs and being the person you want to be in a room of all queer Jews.
It was heavenly.
So great.
Anyway, I'll go back any year, anytime.
Yeah.
Have me, Rav Shua, please.
We love you. Bring us back. We'll entertain everyone next year.
Yes. Put us in the budget.
Exactly. Put us in the budget.
Anything else?
No.
We spoke for a while.
I know. This was a good chat.
It was a very Jewy, very queer chat. I don't know if anyone's going to be interested in the like breakdown of this weekend. But if you made it here, I guess you were.
You were. Good for you.
Good for you.
Great. I feel like that's it. And then
patreon.com/Yenta.
Yep. Keep your eyes peeled. Next week there's gonna be a Patreon teaser with my husband.
Your husband,
the world famous.
Oh my God.
If you subscribe to the Patreon, you'll finally get to meet him. So keep your eyes peeled for that. And
that's it.
We're perfect.
We are. Oh, thank God. Someone finally said it.
Thank God.